Now, Prince Tony, we have a message here from the Facebook page. It said, what kind of leadership have you seen from the past that makes you think there's a difference? And are you confident and convinced about the future?
Look,
that was from Omana West.
Yeah, let me tell you, the three politicians that I like the most. I've played a little politics at very high levels across the country, and the three politicians I like most are Atiku, Asiwaju, and Amechi. Those three politicians. I've watched them play politics. I will add Timi Alaibe as well. Incidentally, all of them, their names A. So the 4 A's are the people that I like the way they play their politics. None of them are perfect. Atiku has his flaws. Asiwaju has his flaws. Alaibe has his flaws. Amechi have their flaws. I'm learning from them. They represent a kind of leadership that can make a difference in this country if they can get their acts together. But they have flaws. Even Amechi has flaws. So it's unfortunate, because I think the problem we have is that the flaws of any leader can completely destroy things. Even a very good leader, if he has flaws that cannot be managed, the future can be very bleak. And the reason I say that is that governors are so powerful. Presidents are so powerful. So if you have anybody occupy any of these positions and they get even the slightest thing wrong, then you have a problem. All the good can be completely turned around, and that's what's unfortunate. I think that the kind of leadership that will give me hope is a new crop of leadership. We can reinvent the current leadership, yes, but there are certain things that they need to understand. The rule of law, very important. They need to understand the fact that the people matter. You know, the people's voice matters. Even if they rig elections, they can get away with whatever they want to get away with, but their conscience should ask them, what do the people want? And they need to worry themselves about what the people want. And
I have a quote here from someone who say, I am Amanda D, and say, dear TP, you need to know, quote, the greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and ability to affect those around. And
that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
In line with that quote, I want to ask you, and this is a question that was asked by somebody in one of your write-up on the Vanguard, said, what have you done for your area, Kalabari land?
Hi. If I start that one, will we end today? I've done a lot. I mean, first of all, my entry into politics.
Let's put it in perspective. Okay. You are so close to Governor Rotimi Amechi, and yet the Trans-Kalabari Road is still incomplete.
Yeah, and for that, it's a disgrace. And that is a disgrace to all of us, but especially to him, because he is the governor of the state. I can't put it together. If I could build it, I would build it with my own money. Because really, what excuse do we have? He came there to the Kalabari land, spoke in front of everybody, made promises, and those promises have not been met. And it was the same before him, orderly, you know. So it's a disgrace, you know. For those of us that are close to him, people don't know what we tell him. They think, oh, we're all complicit. But I tell him, in fact, he calls me an ethnic politician, because I tell him that the riverine areas have not had a benefit from his government that they should. And he says, oh, that for me, everything about is Kalabari. It's not true.
And how much are you also telling the governor about the multi-billion-naira dredging contract in Buguma?
What multi-billion-naira dredging contract is in Buguma? Look, you're a journalist.
Yes,
so you need to be dealing with facts.
The dredging contract in Buguma has been abandoned.
There's no such thing. If there is any dredging contract that has been abandoned, it might have been an NDDC contract. And if it's an NDDC contract, I'm sure that we have a new administration that will sort it out. Thank God we have people, especially a special assistant to the MD, the Kalabari man, OJJ Braid. So I'm sure they will deal with that issue. But the one I can talk about is the one that was awarded to me, which was completed several years ago.
Has it been completed?
Yes, it has. And it took them several years to pay me. But we'll go to that. We'll talk about that later. Now, the governor came and promised, excuse me, let me finish. We can talk about it's done. Me being paid later is not the issue. Okay. The issue is completing the work. Done, and the governor promised that the second phase will be done. That has not been done yet, but I suspect that it will be done soon, because the governor came and announced, he said, this same contract will be awarded to the same contractor that did the first phase, which is, of course, me. I'm not in a hurry to go and collect contract. But I know that development in the Riverine area has fallen far below expectations, and I am confident that I'm not the only one that feels this way. So many people do. So we are telling the governor, but the governor has described me as an ethnic politician. I'm not just talking about in this. If you go to Onelga, the highest producing local government, can you say that the projects in Onelga match the amount of resources that these people produce? The answer is a big no. No, it does not. So there's so many things that can be that are not. I think that it's the governor is trying, but these are areas where he's not trying enough, and he needs to do more. I think that he will. We cannot judge somebody or judge a match at halftime. It's halftime. There's time yet for him to still